Barton FM, following Barton Town. Sport on Barton FM is sponsored by Easy Buy.
Welcome to Swans Talk with me, Richard Watts.
Joined by Aaron Walton, and we've got 3 games to look back on. We've got a defeat at Emley, but then 2 really good home wins against Silsden and Golka.
You certainly have, yeah. Let's start with the away game at Emley. It was a 3-0 defeat, but never felt like a 3-0 defeat, did it, Rich? I didn't think.
No, that was in the game.
Yeah. I mean, Emley just took their chances, didn't they? Barton didn't really take theirs, to be fair. It was, I mean, sometimes you can see a 3-0 on paper and you think, oh, they've been absolutely battered, but they weren't battered.
No.
Light on numbers as usual, weren't there? There was a few players light, and as you say, the lads who've stepped up and come in have done a really good job, I think. And
yeah, they have. Yeah,
the lads from the reserves, Matty Clayton and Katie Phillips, they've both done really well, and Keane Salter's come in and done really well again.
Yeah.
So those lads are stepping up, and they should be looking to be playing in the first team next season, really.
Yeah,
thereabouts, because they've certainly slotted in well. They've certainly not looked out of place. The game's not passed them by, and they've looked like rabbits startled in the headlights. It's none of that. They've played really well, I thought.
Yeah, they have extremely well. Yeah.
And I think we never give him. We always mention him, but we don't give him a massive lot of praise, and that's Will Wardby. I think he's played excellent over these last few games.
I agree.
Where we've been light on numbers. I know we've got Nate Notty at the back, who's just been as smooth as silk, and Craig King's been really good. They've all been good, but Will, if you say to him, will you play left back? Will you play right back? Will you play winger? Will you play midfield? Here, will you play goalkeeper? He'll do it.
Yeah.
And he does it to the best of his ability, and he puts a shift in, doesn't he?
Certainly does. I mean, I would think, like I say, he can play anywhere. I would have thought his best position was left back.
Yeah.
And these 3 games are probably the first 3 games he's had all season at left back, and he's been, because Scott Matthews is normally there.
Yeah, exactly.
Been outstanding.
He has. And he bombs forward, he gets the crosses in, doesn't he?
Yeah. Diagonal ball to his brother.
Oh, yeah.
Diagonal ball to his brother. So it's going to cause a problem.
That's a speciality from the Wardbys. Wardby to Wardby.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd give Will a little bit of a mention there. So we lost 3-0. We went to Emley. Lovely place to go. If you've not been Swans fans, it's a really nice club. Good friendly fans, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's a good setup there. Well worth a visit. Tick your grounds off. Well worth a visit. Not too far to get to. And as I said, it's a friendly club. You want to put that on your bucket list, Swans fans, if you can. So we'll bypass that one quickly, because we're very partisan and we don't talk about losing too much, do we?
No.
So we'll go on to
one thing to say about Emley, it was good to see Joe Jagger on his feet.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Swans fans, if you remember, poor Joe broke it was a double fracture, tib and fib. He was just sat in front of us once with his good lady and their newborn child. I had a quick chat with him just to see if he was all right. I asked if he'd gone back to work yet, and he said no. But he was walking about, and he was in good spirits, wasn't he? So it was good to see Joe. It was good to see Joe back on his feet. So we'll go on to Silsden at home. Now that was a couple of. Is it last Tuesday?
Last Tuesday, wasn't it? Yeah, it seems a long time ago.
It does, and it rained. And it rained.
Oh, certainly
and
did.
It rained.
Yeah.
And it rained. And it rained some more. In fact, I'm sure, I don't know if you saw it, but I'm sure I saw Noah's Ark go down Pasture Road.
Yeah, must have done.
It was that wet.
Must have done.
But another good performance from the Swans.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
A couple of good goals. Who scored them? I think Tom Warby got one, didn't he? And
It was
Ben Hinchcliffe?
Hinchcliffe and Danny North. Danny North got the
Hinchcliffe
second.
and Danny North. That's right. Yeah, sorry, it's me giving Tom Warby all the goals again. Yeah, it was a nice. It was a nice finish from Ben, wasn't it? Outside
It
the
was,
area,
yeah.
it was a good finish. And Danny's goal. I can't remember Danny's goal. Was it an
It's
interchange?
played in, and he went round. He just went round. Did he go round the keeper, or he's level with the keeper and slotted it past him?
I think yeah. I think he just
I think he
slotted
went
it
to it
past.
round him and slotted it in. I think.
Yeah, because Silsden. I mean, when we was at Silsden, it was a 1-1 draw. But I just felt with the away game, if we haven't conceded that penalty, I couldn't have really seen them opening us up. I mean,
No.
I know Silsden hit the post in the second half, but I just couldn't see us opening us up.
Mm.
So I felt like it's a good point on the road, but I think we could have won that one. But we put the sword into them at the easy by 2-1, and it was a good game considering the conditions
It
were
was.
absolutely
Yeah.
abysmal. I mean, it was windy, it was swirling, but I think my man of the match of the game was Silsden's keeper, Haji Damba.
Yeah, he
Pulled
made
off,
some good stops. Yeah.
didn't he? Just I know. We gave Ryan Musselwhite the Barton man of the match because again he did 2 or 3 good saves in that
He
second
did.
half. Because Silsden are so dangerous, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. They're good going forward. Yeah.
They are, and I think Silsden are better away than they are at home. So definitely. So that was another good win for Barton. A good
It
home win.
was. Yeah.
And we'll come on to our latest match, which was Golka on a
Yeah.
Monday night. A Monday
Yeah.
night down at the Easy Buy. So we obviously Golka. If the listeners know that they've got a big semi-final on Friday, well tomorrow,
Yeah.
depending when this goes out, which is on a Friday, and they're playing Emily. Now that's going to be a super semi-final. But we put Golka to the sword, didn't we? We beat them.
Yeah.
Was it
Really good.
3-1 in the end? Was it, Rich?
3-1. Yeah, they got a
Yeah,
last minute goal, didn't they?
yeah. Did it? Did
In
it slip
Plum.
under the keeper? Did it, that one?
Yeah,
Yeah, dear. But I think there was a lot of bodies in front of him.
there was. Yeah, but
So
20 goals in the season for Tom Warby after Monday night.
yeah, and he's still got a game to go, so he still could get
Yeah.
maybe a couple more or one more. But it was a very good performance. I don't know whether Golka maybe just had an eye on Friday for the semi final. I'm not sure, but what a great addition to the league Golka have been.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, they're one of the better footballing teams in the league. I think. Um, so they play well. I thought I was seeing double actually because the joint managers are brothers, aren't they?
how are they?
Yeah, they come
I didn't
they
know
come in
that.
as you well know. I don't join you on a home games. I've got my hospitality to do, and they popped in with your scars as well. They popped in for a cup of coffee before they got the warm up and what have you. And I thought, God, am I seeing double here? And they said, "Oh, my brothers." Oh, all right. So,
I mean,
but
what I think was particularly good about Monday was the fact it was so much down to the bare bones, and even then, Danny North only lasted 10 minutes.
yeah,
And to get
he's
a win, it's down
yeah.
sort of when you're as threadbare as that is just
Oh,
terrific
absolutely.
performance.
Absolutely. I mean, there were some really good performances again. The lads that stepped up again. I mean, Kean, he scored, didn't he?
Yeah, header. Yeah,
That's
Tom
his
Warby
third,
picked him out and headed it in.
yeah, second header he's got out of his 3 goals for Barton
Yes.
Town.
Yeah.
Yes, and I know exactly. I know all the games he scored. He scored against Thackley, Eccleshill, and now he scored against Golka.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
done really well.
Yeah.
But that was a really good performance because, as I said, Golka, they can just knock the ball about for fun, and they've got some good players in there. Obviously, Joe
That's right.
Scars,
Yeah, Scars. Yeah.
Nadol is a good player. Buddy
Yeah.
Cox, the lad who scored all the goals up front. I can't remember his name, but he scored quite a lot of goals. And a little number 10,
Yeah.
it's pretty quick. But as regards our players, I mean, they all put a good performance in yet again from 1 to 11, and then subs who came on. Again, we didn't have a great deal of subs, did we? I think we had.
No.
Did I think Henry Parr come on, didn't he? And
He came on for Danny North, didn't he? And then
yeah,
Jarman late on.
yeah, he came on. So as I say, we're down to the bare bones there. Maybe have a couple back for Tuesday night. I'm not sure. Let's hope we do. Matty Clayton might be back. I think Matty was saving himself. He's obviously goes to Bishop Burton College and possibly saving himself because they had a semi-final on the Wednesday. So
Right.
that'll be a national semi-final.
Yeah.
So it just saving himself for that. But definitely a really good performance from the Swans there. I was a little bit disappointed with how many we got down there. We didn't seem to get many down there. We just seem to have knocked off a little bit. I know the weather don't help and what have you, and people have got other things to do in the week. But I think if the Golka game would have been a Saturday game, I think we'd have had over 200 because I know Golka that their fans like to travel. They probably get 20 or 30 of their fans down. But I've just got a few statistics here. We're 7th best attended this season. I mean, I know we've got one game to go, but we're up by 12%. So thank you very much for everybody who's come and supported the Swans. That's quite good, isn't it, Rich?
It is, yeah. It's good increase, that, yeah.
Yeah. So we could always do. I mean, we've 15 times we've had over 200, so that's not bad,
good.
is it?
Yeah.
And then we've had some real good gates. Obviously, Ferriby, Winton, they were 400 and 457 and 445. And for Frickley and Bottiswood, we had over 300. So, I mean, you can't be too greedy, but if you could get 300 each game, wow.
Yeah.
The chairman will be happy. Well, it might not be, maybe want 350. But so if we're looking at form and we've got the 10th best attack in the league. We score 1.61 goals per game, so that's not too bad. And defence, well, we were the best defence for months, weren't we? Well, we've only dropped down to third.
Right.
1.17 goals per game. So a tight defence, I would say.
Yeah.
So to have the third best defence behind, I think it's Ferriby and Winton. That's not bad, is it?
No, not bad at all.
Considering we've finished 7th, and Tom Wobby on 19 goals is our top goal scorer. Home form: 1-9, drawn 6, lost 3, and our away form: 1-8, drawn 4, lost 7. So the away form was a bit, losing 7 games, but 10 games lost again. That's as I say, it's showing a little bit of stability there, isn't it? From we're on exactly the same points as we were last year. We're finished. So and quite interesting. I think we're about 61 points. Now, quite interestingly, not interesting, it's probably boring for most people, but I always look at the fixtures at the start of the season and I'll put predicted scores down. And I predicted all the scores and I had us as finishing on 57 points. So I'm not far away, am I?
No, not far at all. I mean,
60. We've got 61. Possibly we could finish on 61, or we could finish on 62 or 64. So we're not far away at all. So that's it proves that I'm either a good guesser or I know a little bit about the league. I'm going to say the first. I'm good at guessing. So,
I mean, I think we would have. Obviously, like we've said, the 2 games of the week has cost us dear. I think we could easily have had another 10, possibly another 10 points if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, definitely there, because you're picking up injuries. Sometimes you've got players who are unavailable because of work commitments.
Yeah.
You've got players who are playing but who are tired. And I mean, people say, well, how can you get tired? You're only playing football. Well, it's the recovery. They're not getting the recovery. When they're not professional footballers, they're semi-professional, and they have to work. So that catches up with them. We've said it before, we'll say it again. The pitch has just not done us any favours. I know they're going to have some. I know this summer they're having some renovation work on the pitch. I've heard, so hopefully that'll possibly help out. But we don't want another season like this season where we're having games cancelled and after game after game after game cancelled, which has just cost us dearly.
Yeah.
So that really has. But what are our predictions for next season then, Richard? What do we think?
I think we could easily get in the top 5.
So you're looking
I suppose it depends if it. I suppose it depends. It depends what it can do squad wise, doesn't it? If this squad stays, the bulk of it stays together, and you can add a couple to it, then I think you've got a real good chance of progressing.
Yeah, there's lots of ifs and buts.
Yeah, it's too early to say, really, isn't it? We don't know who's going to be in the league yet, even, do we? Really?
We don't know whether Winton will still be in it or will they go up. We don't know who's sort of coming down. I think we think Tadcaster's coming down, but we don't know who else. We sort of don't know yet who's coming up with Campion. Is it going to be Rossington or is it going to be Horbury? Then you've also got the NCL curveball they throw in from teams coming sideways, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you just don't know. I mean, if we could say that, right, it's going to be virtually the same squad, and we know most of the teams, I would expect us to be in a playoff place at the very least.
Yeah.
So, but as I say, it's all ifs and buts. It's all ifs and buts. So that's what I will be thinking. I will be looking at possibly looking for a playoff place and keeping that season going and trying to get more fans. My aim would be to get more fans through the gate because it's. I think with Golka, Barton, and a few other clubs played some super football. You know, we've been blessed with some really good games, really good football, and I think when Barton refrained from the big bazooka right down the middle, you know, straight off the goalie's foot, playing it long. When they play it from the keeper out to the back and play it out from the back, I think there's very few teams can match us for that.
Yeah, definitely.
But sometimes I think the players just get a bit frustrated, and it's just get it up as quick as we can. But when they play it from the back and they're playing them nice little 1-2s, little triangles, it looks good, it looks neat, and we often score. So,
I mean, part of the problem is it's the number of times you don't get the surfaces that are sort of made for that sort of football, do
you? Yeah. I mean, we'll obviously have another 4G pitch in the league, won't we, with Bottisford? I've had a look at the pitch, and the thing looks really nice. You know, everything they've done, the surrounding fencing, and I think they've tarted the stand up a bit. It's probably gone from one of the scruffiest to one of the best.
Right.
So that'll be a lot better to play on, I think.
Yeah.
And I think they've accepted their management duo. They've stepped down, haven't they? So they'll be looking for a new manager and assistant at Bottisford. So that may be different next season.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. But it's all, as I say, it's all waiting to see what happens and looking forward to another season. But that, as daft as it sounds, they'll be kicking off with the pre-season friendlies in July.
Yeah.
It's just time for a breath, and then we're back on it, aren't we? We're back on it. So
yeah.
But this is the way it is. So all in all, I think we've had a decent season. It's been consolidation. We've seen some good football. We've seen some super games. And some cracking goals. I mean, we're going to have to have a go. We're going to have a goal of the season. I mean, there's certainly some contenders, isn't there? I think my favourite at the moment is Kean's at Eccleston.
Cracker, yeah.
Wanted just, especially when me and you thought it was going to go straight over the stand. So it just shows what we know. But that's my favourite at the moment. But Tom Warby scored some good ones, and Will. What about Will Wardby's at Hemsworth?
Yeah.
Can you remember that? As soon as it left his foot, we knew it was in. The keeper never moved.
No.
So that was a good one.
It's a great shame we didn't have that one on film.
Yes.
One of the few.
Yeah. One of the few. We didn't. Did we take the VO camera? I don't think we did.
Not back then. No.
I think we need the backup of the cameraman, don't we?
Yeah.
He seems to get all the good goals in.
Yeah.
So
Well, it gives you another angle as well.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It's a bit nice to have those different angles. That's something I don't know, we might do next season. We might have the camera and the VO. Depends.
Yeah.
What you think?
You get your different angle on your goals and everything. So.
But we all know what the cameraman does. He does tend to focus on the goalkeepers too much, and we wonder why. So. But yeah, all in all, I think it's been a decent season. We've seen some good games. We've had some good road trips away, haven't we, Richard? I like the league. It's a good league.
It is.
There's some everybody in the league's in it for the right reason. Especially the volunteers and the clubs. They want the clubs to do well, and they want to show their club at its best, especially the volunteers. I think, hats off to all the volunteers and hats off to all the players and the fans that come and watch it. It's a super league. Long may it continue.
Yeah, definitely.
So on a final note, Richard, to all the Swans faithful, get yourself down there on Tuesday night for the last game of the season against Emily. It'll be a cracker. Obviously, Emily are in the semi-final with Golka. And Winterton, our friends at Winterton, are in the semi-final against Hamsworth. So good luck to all four teams. Whoever gets to the cup final at Doncaster, I'm sure it'll be a cracking game because there's four really good teams there, isn't there, Rich?
There is. Yeah, it'll be a good fight. Yeah,
it is. So good luck to them, and we'll see them because we'll be commentating on the final.
We certainly will. Yeah. That's the 2nd of May. Kicks off at 7:30.
Yeah. Get yourselves down to Doncaster to watch it. Everybody welcome.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of room for everybody.
Yes, I don't think it'll be a sellout.
It won't be a sellout. There was plenty of room last season, and what a great cup final that was. Went to extra time, and of course the Swans won.
It was.
For the latest Barton Town news and information, visit the club's website at www.bartontownfc.co.uk.
That's it for this edition of Swans Talk. Thanks for listening.